with the O.C.G, and they recently added trophies to the PS5 version of Alone in the Dark.
Alone in the dark.
So I'm going to be getting the trophies for that. While also skipping most of the dialogue and cutscenes as I've already played through this game. Unfortunately, right after I played through and beat it is when they added fucking trophies. Oh wow, you can get the key the first time you visit? I didn't know that. But you had to go back after he got shot. Oh, that actually makes my life quicker. Or easier, I should say. And examine all this stuff as part of a trophy. Excuse me. Now I'm going to grab a quick trophy with the power of rewind. You get a trophy for using first aid while you're at green health. Oh no, okay, you have to be at green. Never mind. This whole section without firing a shot. Plus, you don't come back here for a very long time anyway, so you are saving a ton of ammo by not shooting them. Like, you are, this is the optimal way to play it, honestly. Okay. And rewind, because honestly, I'm not, first aid kits are actually pretty limited in this game early on. You can't run past this, I tried. It will grab you every time. Right back, you have to keep killing them until it lets you go.
Carnby? Carnby, answer me.
Aline, I thought you were dead.
I did too. I'm not cut out for this kind of place. I want this to stop right now.
I understand.
You understand? You understand? You don't understand anything. I don't know what you, Johnson, or Professor Morton want of me, but I'm asking for this nightmare to stop right now.
Aline, get a grip on yourself. Where are you?
In some room. But I can't get to you. One of the doors is locked, and I can crack the other one, but there's some heavy object blocking.
Don't... Yeah.
Because I just fucking feels my.
Hey, I can hear you. Can you see what's blocking the door?
I think it's just a chest of drawers.
Well, then push it aside.
At last. I want you to tell me what's going on.
I don't know yet, but I do love your
Like, he
new outfit.
fucking knows.
Makes you look less, you know...
Yes, I know.
Here, I got your stuff.
Thanks. What about my jacket?
Whoever locked you up in here probably thought it matched his hair. Listen, I should never have agreed to let you come along.
I have my own reasons for being here. Were you able to talk with Obed Morton?
No, were you?
I'm not so sure. I have this feeling that there's more than one Obed Morton.
It's way too dangerous. We have to find a safe place for you where you can hide and wait for me.
Listen, Carnby. You know as well as I do that the safest place is at least 2 hours away. You and I don't have the same goal.
I have always wondered about the circle of stones located in the moors. When I would ask Edenshaw about it, he always remained very vague. I now think it's some kind of ritual calendar used to determine various astronomical events. I have started building a planetarium that will be used in conjunction with the circle of stones. All this seems linked to the gate, to the opening of the gate, and to the ritual of the 7 statues. Edenshaw was very surprised. It seems he had not thought them related. I therefore talked him into performing the ritual with his ancestors. I know his weakness and how to use it. He wanted to convince me of his powers as a witch doctor. Even he acted out of pride. I recorded him while he spoke the sacred words of his tribe. He was standing before one of the steels, and the direction in which he pronounced the incantation seemed an important part of the ritual. But nothing happened. The time has not yet come, is what he said, justifying himself.
Oh, that's one. Edenshaw! Oh yeah, how's it going? Seriously? It's like, do it or you're fucking dead to me! That's good. That's two. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Seems like Stalker 2's in good state on console. They're Digital Foundry and a bunch of other people got the chance to play Stalker 2, like first 3 or 4 hours of Stalker 2 on an Xbox Series X dev kit. And they said that it was looking really good and running at a Lock 60. So people were worried with Stalker 2 being so graphically intensive that it was going to run like shit on console. You know what I mean? Because Stalkers always push the boundaries graphically. So yeah, I think that's... I'm pretty sure that's everything in this room. I think. Yeah, no, that is true. Yeah, I agree. Oh, give me a break. Yeah. Yeah, I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised when they brought this game to PS5. Because honestly, I was really stoked when they did the PlayStation Classics. I was really stoked when they first announced the PS Classics library was coming back to PS5. Because I'm like, man, you know, you guys just gave up on it. So I was excited to see it coming back. But honestly, 99% of the games that they brought to the service have sucked ass. They're fucking games nobody cares about. Way too many Disney games. You know, and so they couldn't even get a lot of the heavy hitters for PS1. So I really didn't suspect that they would take a game like this that, you know, is, I mean, just like the definition of niche, a cult classic. But they did, and I was really impressed by that. Especially because I already own this on PS3. Because I have a huge library of PS Classics on my PS3. And so they actually allowed me to upgrade to the new version for free, which is cool. And that also surprised me. So it's like I got it for free. I played through it. I enjoyed it, you know, and a lot of the stuff in this game, like the save states, the rewinding, it makes it more approachable because this game is a very hard game. It's really easy to fuck yourself without, you know, spending too much ammo and just be fucked. So having rewind and save states really helps make this game more approachable to people who aren't ready for this kind of challenge. But actually, a few weeks ago, they added trophies, a full trophy list to this game. The full platinum and everything. Of course, it was after I'd already beaten the fucking game. And it was like, right after I beat the game, I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So, I meant to come back, and now I am. Which I played through this game recently, so most of it's fresh in my memory. It's not going to take me that long to go through it this time. But after playing and putting so much time in this, I'm like, okay, I'm getting the platinum. And it's pretty reasonable. Yeah, we do. Well, I mean, in all fairness, we are actually getting a resurgence of games like this. With games like Crow Country and Elisa. It's such a shame that the new Alone in the Dark didn't do very well. I've heard nothing but great things about the new Alone in the Dark. Like, nothing but great things, and I was meaning to get it. You know, I just couldn't afford it. It really upset me to hear that the new one didn't do very well. Oh yeah, it's great. Like I said, I've heard the new game is the new Alone in the Dark is great. Like, I've heard nothing but great things about it. The problem is you may or may not be familiar with this, considering you went away, but Embracer went on a huge buying spree. They were already a company that owned a lot of other companies, but they went on a huge buying spree. They bought company after company after company. Except they were fucking stupid. And they were buying all these companies for a deal that they hadn't gotten written down in paperwork yet. They hadn't gotten a written contract, okay? So when the deal fell through, Embracer had to shut down all of those companies that they just purchased and merged with. They wound up shutting down like 30 studios in a month. Like, we're talking about the biggest mass closure of gaming studios in history, like ever. Excuse me. And it was, it will go down as one of the biggest blunders in video game history. Because I'm not, I'm not like a stock market expert. I'm not like a in the game industry, but I feel like it's common sense, and I feel like anyone could tell you that buying game studios for a merger that hasn't gone through yet is a bad fucking idea. For that very reason. Like, why? Why would you be buying all these studios without literally having the fine, like the contract signed in fucking fine ink? And it wasn't like a couple of minor studios. It was like a bunch of fucking major ones. Like, it was really upset a lot of people. Yeah. And they didn't tell the people they were buying this, okay? This is why I feel like it's almost criminal. Because when they bought these studios, they didn't tell them, well, we're buying you, but if this merger doesn't go through, you're going to be shit canned. They told them, no, it's going through. You'll be fine. So they fucking lied to these studios. And some of them, like, I think some of them got it really bad. They had to close like less than a month after they were acquired. Like, it is just one of the most easily preventable blunders ever. I'd let my cat in. And, I was even talking to my friend about it because, I'm like, EA is bad. They'll shut down a bunch of studios. Activision is bad. They'll shut down a bunch of studios. But they'll shut down like a studio here or there every now and then, not 30 right away. And this happened earlier this year, like less than 6 months ago. Like, this is recent. And hold on, I'm trying to see a list of the groups they sold. They shut down Piranha Bytes. The guys who did Gothic and Elix. They were in the middle of making Elix 3, and now they're independently looking for somebody else to fund Elix 3. They're shit out of luck. They shut down Volition, the guys who did Red Faction, Saints Row, Summoner. Free Radical, the guys who did Time Splitters. They were working on a Time Splitters 4, and they shut them down and canceled Time Splitters 4. There's more. And then they just did a new Alone in the Dark game. And it's actually really good. Like, the new Alone in the Dark game is great. I've been meaning to get it because it is true survival horror. It is a worthy Alone in the Dark game. But it didn't sell very well, so they weren't closed in the initial lineup, but they were closed because the game didn't sell very well. So they basically had one game that didn't do as well as they had hoped, and, well, nope, you get the block. So, and it's such a shame, too, because from everything I've seen, the new Alone in the Dark is really good. I just think they didn't market it very well, and they were expecting it to sell, like, insane numbers when it's like Alone in the Dark is a niche series. It doesn't have fucking mass appeal. So, it sucks because, like, literally they were planning to do, like, a whole revival series of Alone in the Dark, and it got canceled, which actually is kind of fucking weird because it seems like that's a recurring pattern with Alone in the Dark. They did this game, Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare. This was intended to be the start of a trilogy. Got canceled after one game. They did the 2007 Alone in the Dark, the one on 360 and PS3. That was intended to be the start of a trilogy. That got canceled after one game. They did the new Alone in the Dark. That was supposed to be the start of a series. I'm not sure if it's a trilogy, but they meant to do more games. That got canceled after one game. Like it's like a recurring pattern of them trying to start up a series and then it getting axed after one game. Which is it's weird that pattern has repeated itself 3 times now. It's kind of kind of getting like cursy. And like I said, the new Alone in the Dark, from what I've heard, I have yet to play it because I just didn't have the money to get it. But everyone I've talked to has said it is a proper Alone in the Dark. It is pure survival horror. It's scary. It feels like Alone in the Dark. It respects the source material. Like, I have not heard one person say one bad thing. Like, if you like horror, this is worth it. So I was really hoping it would do well. You know, I wanted to get it at launch. I just couldn't. Didn't work out, sadly. Like, I was also going to get Star Wars Outlaws, and then that didn't pan out. I had to choose between it or I had to choose between either Star Wars Outlaws or Astrobot, and I chose Astrobot because I fucking loved Astro's Playroom, and I really want to get Astrobot. Like, I played Astrobot at launch for PS5. I mean, obviously it's the pack-in game, Astro's Playroom. And I remember loving Astro's Playroom and being blown away by it, and I was like, man, you know what would be awesome? If we could get a solo Astro game, like a full Astro game. That's what Astrobot is. Like a full Astro's Playroom. So, I've been excited for that for fucking months. And so, obviously I'm going to go for that over, Star Wars, which I don't know if it'll be good or not. It's like a wait-and-see thing. So, yeah, like I said, it's, it's a shame. Because, yeah, I've heard good stuff about it. I just, you won't know until I get my hands on it. I don't often agree. I don't often agree uh, with critics anyway, so it's always kind of like a wait and see. Like, I've liked a lot of games critics don't like, and I've hated a lot of games that are really popular. Hold on, I'm trying to find the Embracer like Wikipedia so I can see because I know they closed down more companies than I just mentioned, like a lot more. Yeah, see, in May 2023, the company announced that a $2 billion investment deal, which had been verbally agreed on in October 22, had unexpectedly failed to materialize as the partner walked away. Verbally agreed upon. Bro, like, what kind of rookie shit is that? In the fucking corporate world, you don't get verbal agreements. You get that shit in writing, or you don't get it at all. So they were like, well, we have $2 billion in the bank, so let's buy this and let's buy that and let's buy this. And then it's like, oh shit, we just spent all money we didn't have. Like, it's such a rookie mistake. You never do something like that without getting that shit in fucking writing. Like, it should have been, if they were still negotiating or whatever, they shouldn't have been buying fucking studios. Like, it's just, like, so irresponsible to do that. Yeah, they closed down Volition, Free Radical. They sold off Gearbox and Saber Interactive. So those weren't closed down, thankfully. But they did sell them, so that kind of put their games in free fall. Because, Gearbox had been part of Embracer for a while. I'm trying to. I'm trying to see the whole list. And it wound up for the best because Take-Two wound up buying Gearbox, and like Take-Two has been a major partner for every Gearbox game. So like they basically went with the person they've worked with all the Borderlands games anyway. So Gearbox got all fucking lucky. They didn't get the axe. They got to go basically where they worked anyway. I'm trying to. Yeah, and then Pisces the Interactive, which was the team that did the new Alone in the Dark, and then Piranha Bytes was quietly shuttered at the end of June. Although they're trying to go independent and trying to keep Elix 3 alive, so it's not going to affect the Gothic remake. That wasn't being done by them. That was being done by THQ Nordic, so that's fine. But like, yeah, it does suck that like so many people got caught in the crossfire. Like I said, it was like such a fucking like bonehead move. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, well, the company's going bankrupt, so we have to close these studios, or you had multiple games that did poorly. It's like literally, we did not do our due diligence, so now you're getting the shit canned. You're getting shit canned. You know what I mean? Like, it was such an easily avoidable catastrophe. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody could tell you, you get that shit in writing. Legal writing. And like I said, just the fact that they would literally go out and buy studios on a verbal agreement. Like, what is this, fucking 1802? Is it a gentleman's agreement? Did you fucking spit and shake on it? You know what I mean? Like I said, I hate EA. Obviously, I hate EA. I hate Activision. But EA and Activision would have got that shit in fucking writing. They're not dumb. They're evil. They're not dumb. Like I said, it's so easily avoidable. And imagine getting bought out by like a company. They're like, yeah, you're going to come here and we're going to give you lots of money. And then like less than 2 months later, well, I'm sorry, we got to let you go. And how fucking heartbreaking an experience that would be. And then, like I said, Alone in the Dark, Pisces, the people that did Alone in the Dark, the new one, they didn't even fucking, it wasn't like the game was disastrously bad, okay? It wasn't like it sold terribly, it just sold okay. But they're like, oh, well, your game didn't sell 80 million units, you're getting the shit canned. So it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. And they shut down the studio less than a month after the game's launch. So it's like, fuck, you're not even giving the game a chance to sell. Like, give it longer than 30 days. Not every game sells, immediately. And there's been several games that didn't do amazingly at first, and then through word of mouth, they kept selling. Like, Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 now is considered to be one of the best Resident Evil games. It's really high up there on the list. And people love 7. I love 7. It's pretty much the game that brought the franchise back from the dead. But at the time, people were really burned out from Resident Evil 6 and, like, burned in general from 6. And they hadn't shown any of the gameplay of 7. Like, they were trying so hard to not show anything about 7 and keep it scary that they didn't show enough. People thought, in the pre-release lead-in to Resident Evil 7 that it was going to be a game like Outlast where you were running and you had no combat. Because they didn't show any of the combat, okay? So, at first, I think, like, the first month sales of Resident Evil 7 were, like, really slow. Like, they were, like, less than a quarter of what Resident Evil 6 shipped. And, Capcom, being a good company that knows their shit, said, well, give it time. We burn people with Resident Evil 6. Give it time. We'll win them over. And word of mouth spread. Hey, Resident Evil 7 is actually really great. Hey, Resident Evil 7 isn't like Outlast. It's a proper Resident Evil game. In fact, it's more Resident Evil than Resident Evil's been in a long time. And it picked up, and the sales picked up, and the sales picked up, and the sales picked up. And now it's one of the best-selling Resident Evil games in the series. I think it sold something like 13 million copies, 14 million copies. Whereas if they had just said, "Oh, it didn't sell amazing," right away, if they just looked at the first month's sales and said, "Fuck it," they would have canceled the series. Yeah, it is actually pretty scary. I agree. And like I said, uh, this shit will go down with Embracer as one of the biggest blunders in video game history. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I have ever heard of more studios being shut down in such a short period of time as I have for Embracer. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing I can think of that's remotely similar to it is when the gaming market crashed in the 70s, but that wasn't one company's blunder. That was the whole industry going under. And it was the result, I mean, it definitely was the result of some stupid decisions, but it was more of like a thing that just couldn't be helped. It was a bubble that popped. It wasn't one fucking asinine decision. Like, Embracer almost overnight became one of the most hated developers or publishers in the industry. I mean, like, I think they may have overthrown Konami. 'Cause like I said, Konami didn't shut down like 8 studios in 30 days off of some stupid bullshit that could have been avoided. Hold on, I'm trying to make sure I got everything. This is one of those games where if you miss something, you can fuck yourself. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, it may actually be like one of the biggest blunders in video game history. Sweet, more ammo. It also, it makes people worry about the other studios that are under Embracer because it's like, it looks like if they make a game that doesn't sell amazingly well, then they're fucked. Like, for example, Embracer owns Crystal Dynamics. So they're doing a new Tomb Raider game, and it's like, well, if this new Tomb Raider game doesn't do amazingly fucking well right away, they're gonna close down Crystal Dynamics. Sweet. Yeah. I'm actually excited for it because it's basically going to be kind of like a remake of the first Tomb Raider, like a reimagining of the first Tomb Raider, but with the Laura from the most recent games. And they're calling it the Unified Timeline because it's going to take elements from all of the timelines. Yeah, exactly. Like, imagine the first Tomb Raider. Imagine the first Tomb Raider, but with the modern gameplay from the most recent trilogy, and that Laura. Ah, God, what an asshole. There's another key. And another key. Yeah, okay. I think that's everything in this room. Okay. Fuck, hold on. Yeah, I went too far, okay. No, did I not go far? Oh, okay, here we go. I wasted ammo I didn't need to. Yeah, it is pretty hard. I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't even use the pistol unless you're fighting those little crab things. Like, the pistol is, like, fucking useless. And there's a grenade launcher, which I'll be needing for the boss fight here in a little bit.
I know.
You can't hurt these enemies. But will you grab the lighter? The only way you can hurt these enemies is by turning on the lights, but you can't really turn on light in this room, so... It's one of the things I miss the most. Like, the easiest things I missed. You have to come right to this panel right here and dig with the crowbar, and they do not do a good enough job of showing you where you should dig. It's so fucking easy to miss. And it gives you not one but two keys that you fucking need. This is absolutely a game that I would tell anybody who wants to play this, play with the fucking guide. Like, you don't have to follow the guide step by step, but keep it on hand, just in case you get lost, because this is one of those games you are gonna get fucking lost. Like, there are parts of this game that you would not know. More ammo is always a good thing. Then use the crowbar again on this wall. And now if you run down here, you can quickly get to the light switch and kill these fuckers.
But
Okay, that's not the way I want to go yet. I will be coming back here then, though. First, I gotta talk to that old creepy bitch in the bed.
You are...
I love you, Eckett. You gotta get up. My legs are killing me. Oh, yeah, okay. Like I said, I already played through this, so I'm just skipping a lot of the dialogue. Okay, here we go. Now I can go this way.
Aline?
Carnby?
I also like the main voice actor in this game for Edward. He's the same guy that voices David. Is it David? Hold on. Is it David? Hold on. What was his name? Fuck. He voices the main guy in Indigo Prophecy. And I'm a huge fan of Indigo Prophecy, so... That's 4. Yeah. He has a very distinct face or voice. The guy who plays David. Or is it Nathan? Fuck. It's been so long since I played Into Prophecy, but he's the main guy that you play. And like I said, like as soon as I play this game, I'm like, oh hey, that's the same guy. I'm just trying to make sure I get everything. Really? Yeah, Lucas Kane, yeah. I think that actor's name is David something. Hold on. Actually, I'm gonna hold on. I need to look that up real quick because I know I'm getting David from somewhere, and it's bugging me. Okay, see, that's okay. The guy who plays Lucas, his name is David Gasman. Okay, so I wasn't entirely wrong. Okay, that's why I kept thinking. And he's been in a lot of games. And was shit, he's Canadian. Hold on. He's been in a bunch of Dragon Balls, English dubs, a bunch of animes. He was in Outcast, Rayman 2 as Rayman. Uh, One of the Dark and New Nightmare, obviously. Beyond Good and Evil is PJ, who I love Paige. You know, such a great role. I love Beyond Good and Evil. Uh, he was in 13, the game, the original game. Yeah, and you know what's crazy is David Gasman. Uh, uh, David Gasman not only plays Lucas Kane, but he plays Tyler Miles, the black dude. Okay, and I'm pointing out he's black dude because if you look at like Lucas Kane and Tyler Miles, they are such wildly different characters that sound so different you never would believe that it's voiced by the same dude. He played a bunch of extra voice roles in Heavy Rain, which well, that's cool, keeping the thing going. He was also a bunch of extra voice roles in Beyond Two Souls, which I guess he really liked working with Quantic Dream. Uh, he's in Styx, Master of Shadows, Styx Shards of Darkness, which is cool. He was in Detroit Become Human as a police officer, which is also cool. So he's basically been in every single game that Quantic Dream has ever made in one way or another. Even if he wasn't a main character, he got a voice role in there, which that's cool. Oh, there's a... Is this where it came from? I think this is a shortcut. Yep, it is. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go back to where I was. But he has a very distinctive voice. And he's really the only standout. Yeah. He's really the only standout person in this game. Voice cast, like the rest of the voice cast in this game is kind of eh. I mean, it's not bad, especially by PS1 standards. You, the master of unlocking, but like none of the other voice casts in this game are that great except for him. So like he carries a lot of this game's story. Which, in all fairness, he is the main character, or well, one of the main characters, but the one that most people idealize with. It's Edward Carnby. So. Burn, motherfucker! That's another gun I'll be using. Yeah, you can't really go back here as him. Elaine has all like the shit in the mirror, like that Celtic dude in the mirror, which is pretty cool. They do a good job of making their campaigns feel separate and not just recycled content, so I have to give them that. Let's see. Oh, give me a fucking break. No. No, it's fine. It's not a big deal. If you'd rather just go and do that, it's not a big deal. I don't want to keep you from doing what you're doing. There we go. Hey, sweet. Excuse me. The only shame is, I wish they would have brought, when they chose to bring this game to modern systems, they would have chose the PS2 version. This game looked good for PS1, but the Dreamcast version, and by extension the PS2 version, were miles above the PS1 version in graphics. It was, like, it's an insane difference. PS2 version was the best version. It kind of also makes me wonder why they didn't use that version. Whenever you're bringing a game to modern platforms, you should always use the best version as the base. Like, it's not like there's some games where it's like, oh, it looks a little bit better on PS2 versus PS1. It's like a massive fucking difference. Character models, backgrounds, like everything looks better. Like they had to compress all the backgrounds to fit on PS1 discs, but they were able to use the raw, uncompressed files for the PS2 version, so just like the whole world looks way better. Oh, yeah, how's it going? And the PS2 version actually has lip syncing during cutscenes. Like you actually see their mouths moving, where their faces are completely static. Alone in the Dark, the New Nightmare. Yeah. Although it's like way more of a difference. Like, they just threw in some extra bells and whistles for, RE3 on the Dreamcast GameCube. For the PS2 version of Alone in the Dark, the new Nightmare, it's like, it is literally like a generational leap. I'll see if I can find some comparison. Well, sorry, man. Yeah, I talk fast. Alone in the Dark, the new Nightmare is what the game is called. But it is a massive leap. Like I said, if I can find some pictures, I will. Like, it is like a different game. Like, it's not one of those, like, oh, it looks slightly better. Like, it is generational. And that's why I was, like, so confused why they picked the PS1 version to bring, because they've emulated plenty of PS2 games before. It's like, you've emulated PS2 games. Why would you not pick the version that looks the best? But, I'm glad we got the game at all. It's not the PS1 version is bad. You know what I mean? It's just that the PS1 version came at, like, the very end of the lifespan of PS1. And they were pushing the PS1 to the limit, so they were able to take off those limitations for the PS2 version. Okay, now we're going to make a save state because we're about to fight one of this game's boss. This is like the make or break point. This is one of the hardest fights in the game, which, funnily enough, happens only like halfway through. I had more trouble with this boss fight than like the ending boss fight. And like the first time I played this game, I did not have enough ammo, and I had to restart and replay through it and get more ammo. But I've been saving shit, so this time it shouldn't be an issue. And, it catches you off guard because, normally something like this, it would get you when you finish the puzzle. This gets you on your way up the stairs to finish the puzzle. It's like, oh shit, you're in the middle of it. It really just depends on you. If you're talking about Spider-Man 2, yes, I played Spider-Man 2. I've 100%ed it. I have the platinum for it. If I did a short review, it would just be it's a great game. Killer PS5 exclusive. And better than the first game in every way, in my opinion. The fuck? Fucking got him. last book is somewhere around here.
Aline?
Fuck, I didn't mean to call her. Oh, I know there's another bookshelf around here. Where the fuck is it? Some of these spots where you have to hit the button to examine it are really specific, where if you're just slightly off, you're not going to get it. It's annoying. There you go, finally. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Uh, Good thing we have rewind, because I should have done some shit in the library, and I didn't. There we go. Hey, God love you. You gotta get up, hon. You're killing my leg. You're killing me. Oh, later you can come back up. Right now you're killing me. Oh. It's like I'm missing like one more door. Trying to get a trophy where I get open every door in the manor as Edward. Something's stuck in my head. Ba-ba-dum. Let me check. Bum. Ah, found it. Wah, 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 wah. And that's the end of the first act. Moon, star, sun.
Aline? I reached the...
Let me...
I'm at the North Stella, and there's something carved into the top. A single mark.
Okay, that's exactly what I need.
Could you be a bit clearer?
I'd rather be sure for myself first. Go to the southeast Stella and call me back.
Which Stella did you say?
The south...
Thanks. Aline, there are no marks on this Stella.
Okay. West Stella.
Are we going to go on much longer like this?
Do you want to try out your incantation or not?
That's what I'm here for. West Stella, 3 marks.
Good. Let me explain. I think that each of the markings correspond to a number. I'm in front of this control board. My idea is, if I enter the numbers, what with this being a planetarium, it should logically give me a direction.
Hey, I trust you.
So, go to the southwest Stella.
Okay. Southwest Stella, 1 mark.
Now we're getting somewhere. East Stella?
I'm at the East Stella, 2 marks. I'm starting to feel this isn't funny anymore.
Spoil sport, we're nearly there. Northeast Stella.
Nothing on the Northeast Stella.
Okay. And now back to the southeast Stella.
What? I hope you're not pulling my leg here.
If you don't want my help anymore,
Okay, hey, don't get all touchy now. Southeast Stella.
hang in there, Carnby. The southwest Stella, and it's over.
Southwest Stella, 1 mark.
Okay, like I said, it's over. Carnby, you'll never believe me.
But you know I believe every word you say.
If I didn't get this wrong, that circle of stones of yours just gave us today's date.
Uh-oh. That means...
That tonight's the night the gate...
can be opened.
Carnby, I don't feel so good.
Now's not the time to give up. I still need a direction.
Wait, I'm entering the date into the control board. It's incredible. Okay, the planets are lining up.
Which way are they pointing?
Well, towards the east, I believe. Yes, that's it. Towards the east.
Thanks.
Don't you think we're in over our heads on this one?
Got no idea. All I know is I want us to get out of here alive, and you've got my word, we're gonna do it.
I'd really love to believe you.
Oh, Gulai. Hyper. Harness. Oh, Gulai. Hyper. Harness. Corna.
Carnby.
Aline, it's Carnby.
So, Mr. Witch Doctor, how about that ritual?
Yeah, you won't be laughing when I tell you I recovered a statue and some kind of stone disc.
A disc that's about 10 inches wide?
That's right.
I need it. We absolutely have to meet right away.
Okay, I'll head for the fort. You come towards me.
Gotcha.
Give me a fucking break.
Aline?
Yeah, it's one of the coolest fucking things. He puts the you get to put the blue light on your
Johnson here. Come in. Nope.
your flashlight, and it actually makes so you can follow blood trails. It's a really cool mechanic.
Hey! Don't... Sure.
Anything you was watching, I appreciate you. Yeah, the new nightmare. Yeah, I think so.
Stop kidding.
And what will you give?
Yeah, skipping through a lot of the dialogue because I've already played this game a lot. I played through this game and fully beat it back when it first came to PS5, and then they added trophies like right after I beat it. But it's not retroactive, so I'm going back through so I can get the platinum. Yeah, I've played Dino Crisis. I'm big on Resident Evil and I'm big on survival horror, so yeah, I've played a lot of those games. Not all of them, but most of them. Yeah, me too. I pretty much own every major Resident Evil game and most of the spin-offs. There's only a few Resident Evil games that I haven't played. It just depends on which ones. Because, like, we're talking Resident Evil 7, it absolutely fucking rocks, so. I really like Resident Evil 7. I thought 8 was good. I didn't like 8 as much as 7, but I still liked 8. That's honestly really hard for me to say because I love so many Resident Evil games. Uh, but and I think Resident Evil has changed so much that I love them for different reasons. But if I had to give you my absolute favorite Resident Evil games, I'd give you the top four. It'd be Resident Evil 1 Remake, Resident Evil 3, the original, Resident Evil 7, and Resident Evil 4, the original or the remake. Those are the ones I like the most. I like Zero. I don't know, man. Zero's got a lot going for it. I like how it dives into the history of Umbrella. I like Billy. He's a really good character. You know, uh, I like, Marcus as the villain, how he's kind of like a tragic villain. But then, it's just like, one, the Billy is cool, but then you have fucking Rebecca, and Rebecca is the worst. Like, she might be my least favorite Resident Evil character out of every single game. She just sucks. And when you compare her to how badass Billy is, dude, I'm sorry. I don't like Rebecca at all. I mean, like, and especially if you just compare her to, like, the characters, man. Rebecca against Jill, Rebecca against Claire Redfield, man. Easily Jill. Easily. And, like, Rebecca just kind of, like, bends, uh, my suspension of disbelief a little bit because, one, she's too fucking chipper, and I've never been a fan of that, plucky, optimistic kind of hero where they're just like sunshine and rainbows. So I guess that's subjective. Your mileage may vary, but she's also, oh yeah, no, I'm sure. She's also 18, and like they're already kind of stretching it in Resident Evil 1 with Jill and Chris because they're like 27, 28, and they're like in an elite unit, like they've graduated past the FBI, and they're already kind of young, but like for Rebecca to be 18 and be in stars is fucking bonkers. Yeah, I've seen some of them. Yeah. Well, I can't really go based off of the extended fiction. Maybe they made her better, but I'm just saying in Resident Evil 1 and in Resident Evil 0, I thought Rebecca sucked. She's too chipper in a situation that doesn't really make sense for her to be chipper. When she's trying to be attitudey, she comes off as like, "Look at me, I am a big kid now." She is nowhere near as cool as Billy, so it's like you have this badass fucking prisoner, and then you have this chick who's not even on his level, and just playing as her fucking sucks because she goes down like so easily. Like you never want to play as Rebecca. Resident Evil Zero is already one of the hardest fucking Resident Evil games, and it's like, hey, do you want to play Rebecca and you want to die like twice as quick? So nobody wants to play fucking Rebecca. So most of the time, people keep Rebecca in the back and like guard her, and it's just like just Billy all the way. So that's what I'm saying. Like I just I really don't like Rebecca. I would say that Rebecca is probably my least favorite of all of the core cast. Chris, Jill, Leon, Claire. Dude, I'll take fucking Pierce. you know, over Rebecca. I'm not big on Rebecca. I didn't play a lot of RE5 Mercenaries. I played the shit out of RE4 Mercenaries. Well, that's great. I played a lot of Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries. I didn't play very much Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries, so I didn't even know what character I would main in 5. So it's just, in Zero, I appreciate what they were trying to do with the whole, you can just drop items anywhere you want to. But, like, I get what they were going for, but I fucking hate it. It's true, you do have a much wider variety of characters. Like I said, Zero, and I just like, Zero came out the same year as Resident Evil 1 Remake, and I feel like Resident Evil 1 Remake was pretty much like the classic Resident Evil formula fucking perfected. Like, there's a reason why after 1, they went on to 4 and they had a new formula, because it's hard to see them doing anything more better with that formula than Resident Evil 1 Remake. It was like the GOAT, you know what I mean? It was the pinnacle of that stage of the series. So, like, Zero kind of comes up short a little bit for me, just because it's like, it immediately follows fucking 1 Remake. But I like Zero. I'm not gonna say it's a bad game. I'm not shitting it. I'm not shit talking. I've beaten it several times. I played it on GameCube. I beat it on GameCube. Own it on PS3. Own it on PS4. I like Zero. I like Zero enough that I bought it multiple times. I feel like it really just depends. I can see what you mean about the fixed camera angles. I like fixed camera angles, but at the same time, I'm cool with the movable camera. I think people were just tired of the same stuff. You know what I mean? All the Resident Evil games from 1 to the remake of 1 followed the same formula, and they wanted to change. So, but I honestly think that Zero could just be so much better if it just got some tweaks. Like, I would love for them to remake Zero. Who knows when that's gonna, fucking happen. But I would love if they remade Zero, because they could make Rebecca a lot more likable, and they could just add a standard fucking inventory system, and I would like Zero. Like, if you just added the regular inventory system of any other fucking Resident Evil game, I would love it 10 times more. Well, I sort of see that. But see, I feel like 4 was a good balance of horror and action. 4 had enough horror and enough tension that it still felt scary. There were some action scenes, but I felt like 4 overall managed to keep the needle right in the horror part of it. 5 started to move more towards action. There was still some good horror moments. I really like the shit in the swamp in 5. That's one of my favorite levels, actually, in any Resident Evil game, is patrolling the swamp on the boats, avoiding crocodiles, fighting those fucking creepy ash tribesmen. But then 5 started to move way towards the ludicrous, and then, 6 just tanked it. So I feel like 4 had a good balance of horror and action. 5 was more action than horror, but it still had horror, and then 6 was just shit. Well, relatively speaking, like, 6 is not a bad game on its own merits. It's just a bad Resident Evil. Like, if it was called something else and it was just a third-person shooter, it would be good. It's just a bad Resident Evil game. And unfortunately, it's called Resident Evil. But I'm not going to say, like, it's an outright bad game, because it's not. If you just treat it like an action game, it's a pretty good shooter. with a lot of content. So, and you can't, like, they really did pack 6 full of content. Like, it was fucking enormous. Yeah, no, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, 6 on its own merits is not bad. It's just bad Resident Evil game. You know what I mean? And there's several instances like that where it's like, take Black Flag. I know everybody loves Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but I thought Black Flag was a great pirate game and a shit Assassin's Creed game, even though everybody's like, oh, Black Flag is my favorite. And I'm like, well, it's not really a proper Assassin's Creed game. It's like a pirate game with a little bit of Assassin's Creed thrown in. There's a difference. But and most of the people who like Black Flag just like pirate shit. And it's like, okay, you like pirate shit, but just be honest, that's why you're playing it, and that's why you like it. Not because it's an Assassin's Creed game, but because it's a pirate game. And, it's a great pirate game, and there's not a whole lot of pirate games. But, well, see, that's where we differ. I love Assassin's Creed. I've always loved Assassin's Creed. I grew up playing Assassin's Creed. I was like 11 when the first game came out. I have played every single game. Like, if there's one series where it's like a guarantee that I'm going to get that game at launch, it's Assassin's Creed. Well, and also Resident Evil. I've gotten like the last 5 Resident Evil games at launch. 7, 2 remake, 3 remake, 8, and 4 remake at launch. Yeah, that's fair. Hold on, let me open up the app and see all what you're saying. Fucking YouTube will just cut off somebody if they speak longer than one sentence. It's really fucking annoying. Really bothers me. People have been bitching about it for years, but God forbid YouTube ever make anything better. Years, but God forbid YouTube ever make anything better. Well, I have to disagree with you there respectfully, dude. Metal Gear Solid is one of my favorite games of all time, ever. Ever. Like, I am such a huge Metal Gear fan, that I can't even put in words. But it's stealth. Stealth is not for everybody. I personally like stealth games. Splinter Cell, Dishonored. I like Thief. I like stealth games, but it's not for you. It's not for you. I personally like Metal Gear Solid a lot. But blam! And yeah, I like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm not sure if it's my favorite, but I do like Valhalla. I know a lot of people shit on Valhalla, but I liked it. If I had to say my favorite Assassin's Creed games, the top 4 would probably be Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 3, Rogue, and Origins. Okay, I think I've got everything here. Let me make sure. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I like stealth games. In fact, honestly, if you put like a fucking gun to my head and you're like, oh, what's your favorite game of all time? I would probably have to say Metal Gear Solid 5 is probably my favorite game of all time. Or Xenoblade Chronicles, one of the two. Okay, I really disagree, man. I think Metal Gear Solid 5 is like the best fucking stealth game like ever made. I put hundreds of hours on Metal Gear Solid 5, and I was not tired of it. I fucking love 5. The setting, the world, the fucking time period. I mean, in all fairness, you didn't really give it much of a chance then, man. Game takes a little while to get going. It's a pretty long game. You got to give it a couple hours. But, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But, yeah, it takes a while for Metal Gear Solid 5 to get going. It's a really long game. Do I have... oh, that's right. I forgot. I have the steel ring. I was supposed to put that in there. It's like, what the fuck? And honestly, in like pretty much any game where I have the choice to go stealthy or go loud, I'm going to go stealthy. You give me fucking Skyrim, and it is a guarantee that I'm going to be a stealth archer. uh, uh, yeah, I am a Time Splitters fan. It's on my list. I already have, actually I have Time Splitters Future Perfect for Xbox. It's backwards compatible with Series X. But now they have the whole series on PS5, so... Alright, I'm going to save here. I'm going to take... Yeah, I mean, that's like literally by design, man. It was made by the Time Splitters team. Free Radical is made up of ex-Rare employees who left and wanted to keep making FPS games. Alright, I'm going to... Hold on, I'm going to switch games. I'll be right back.